So these are the kind of the main areas that we see that are kind of evolving in the AI, the new AI world. So AI has been around for a long time, but it's basically been reborn in the last kind of 24 months in its current iteration, and it's went through several iterations probably over the past 60 or 80 years. But specifically, in terms of security, these are the things that we really see that are starting to develop and its way into businesses in terms of the threats. So phishing is no longer a kind of a badly worded email from somebody whose first language isn't English, for example. It's absolutely spot on in terms of its grammar. It can even impersonate people. It can understand how somebody writes. So if somebody gets access to a mailbox, it can analyze the way that somebody writes their emails. It'll analyze the way it signs off. It may understand the emotional message coming through in emails, and it will use that to generate a phishing email and send it on to people that person would have a conversation with an email. And it's making it much more difficult to spot. And which is why we need to make sure that we're trained on that, which we'll come to in a little bit further on. And they've got the tools in place to deal with these kind of threats. Automated social engineering is something else that we're seeing really develop. So AI is kind of scraping social media and other platforms, LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Twitter, and everything. Any digital identity that you have online has been used to gather information about you and make up a false profile, and make that more legitimate to the person, again, whoever the target is going to be for them to compromise. And spear phishing, traditional spear phishing is targeted, and with AI, these attacks can become even more personalized. And again, so AI is making things much more convincing for these targeted special attacks. Usually kind of CEOs, managing directors, CFOs, people with kind of high profile jobs or high ranking positions, because they generally have usually got the authority, to give approvals for things within their business, because that's how the hierarchies in our business work. And deepfake technology is another scary area where we've not really seen it come into the kind of the business world, but it's definitely been used in the political world. I'm sure some of you have probably seen in the news over the last year or so. And that's a really scary thing for different reasons, but it's still another area that AI is being used in a very damaging way, and not in a positive way, that it really affects us all.
Yeah, and it's interesting, often when we're talking within the business here about the conversations we're having with our customers, cybersecurity feels like all we do is talk about the scary side of things, and it's almost like every conversation we have has the potential to scare our customers with the risks that are out there. But it is unfortunately the brutal reality of where we are, is that the awareness of every small business, medium business and enterprise out there needs to be constantly increasing and more aware of the threats that are out there, and the AI enhanced threats are only going to develop. But as AI has developed very quickly, the type of attacks will and the intelligence behind them, I think, is going to increase significantly as well. And in my notes I've titled this the dark power of AI, and unfortunately we have to just assume that there is a very positive way to use new technology. Unfortunately, there's an equally negative way to use new technology. And again, if the only thing that everybody takes away from this conversation today is that awareness of the increased threats, then I think we've done a job in just encouraging and promoting the conversation within businesses.